Hello everybody and welcome back to Robert's Reviews. Today we are continuing our Leonardo DiCaprio series. As you know, we do these on Tuesdays. And today is Tuesday the 9th. Last week we did The Aviator and it was a lot of fun. I think that was also directed by Martin Scorsese if I remember correctly. And today we're doing another Martin Scorsese film as well as another Leonardo DiCaprio film. And today we're going to be talking about The Departed. The Departed was released in 2006. It was written by William Monahan and directed by Martin Scorsese. This, I think this marks the third Martin Scorsese film that he's been in. I believe it was The Aviator and Gangs of New York, and then this one. I think this is the third and maybe the last. I don't remember. I know he does a few of them with him, but this one is available on Netflix. So if you guys like what this one sounds like and all the cool parts of this, go ahead and check that out. It is on Netflix. So for those of you who don't know what this is about or want a recap or whatever, I'm going to bring the camera down a little bit. Ooh, okay, there we go. So for those of you who want to recap or anything, essentially what happens is it's like the special unit, like police of, I think it was Massachusetts. Maybe it was Boston, yeah. So what happens is this one guy, Billy, is trying to get through the academy and fails. And instead of making him a cop, they decide to put him in undercover duty. So they send him to jail for a few years because they want to make sure that he looks like a criminal. So he goes to jail for a few years, is determined to be a criminal, and then comes out and is still in undercover. And he goes undercover and he infiltrates Costello's gang. And Costello is stealing shit and stuff, pardon my French. And essentially what happens is Costello discovers there's a rat there. He thinks it's Billy, even though it's actually Colin, who works for the special unit as well. But Colin doesn't know that Billy is also a rat. So we have a good guy pretending to be a bad guy and a bad guy pretending to be a good guy. It is complicated, and that is why the first half an hour of this movie is not very good. The first half an hour of this movie, it's about 2.5 hours, roughly total. The first half an hour of this movie is very confusing and disorienting, mainly because we don't really have an exposition. It's the opposite problem that I had with yesterday's video of Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad had way too much exposition. This had none. So it's really hard to discover who was good and who was bad. But after the first half an hour, it really got rolling. You knew that Billy was good, you knew that Colin was bad, even though Billy was pretending to be bad and Colin was pretending to be good. It was complicated as all heck, but I think they did a really good job with it. This had every right to be really bad. They could have just really, really messed it up, but they didn't. I think it was really solid. The ending was really cool. Slight spoilers. Essentially, what happens is, it's so difficult. So Billy discovers that Colin is in fact the rat. So after Costello's dead. So Billy discovers that Colin's the rat. Billy takes Colin and then is going to arrest him. But then one of their other friends that is also part of the group comes in and he's like, I'm also a rat. And then he kills Billy. And then Colin kills his friend. No one really knows why. But he kills his friend. And then Mark Wahlberg's character, who's the head of the unit, comes in and kills Colin. So everyone dies in the end. And honestly, at first, I didn't really like the ending. I watched this 20 minutes ago. I finished watching it. But I was listening to some music and kind of relaxing. I like to listen to music and just kind of let it all sink in after watching a movie before I film. That way I don't just have all my initial thoughts at you. I think that the ending was actually quite good. I think that they did a really good job with it, and I enjoyed how it ended. It really left it so that there was no chance for a sequel, which is good, because this movie does not need a sequel. It is really good by itself. Let's talk about the acting, because I think this is where the movie shines even harder. With Leonardo DiCaprio as Billy, for starters, the beginning of the film, he looked kind of childish again. I felt a little annoyed with the fact that he kind of seemed more like a child. But then, towards the end, they gave him the goatee again, after the first half an hour, and you're like, oh, hey, it's adult Leonardo DiCaprio again. I don't know what it is. It's just he just looks older when he's got the goatee. I think it's because his head is typically really thin, but then as he got older, it kind of branched out and he had that lower jaw come out, and it made him look more older. And these are the couple films that are ooh, it's kind of back and forth. This one, for the most part, he was an adult, which is nice. As for performance, it was really, really good. He had a Boston accent, so it was kind of fun to watch. Boston accents are hard. He went to Boston to learn it. And it was good. It was a good accent. I had no problem with any of the accents except maybe Madeline's accent. We'll get there. But overall, not bad. I actually really enjoyed the performance. I don't think it was Leonardo DiCaprio's best, but it definitely wasn't his worst. One of the better recent movies, I think. I don't think it was as good as The Aviator, but it was pretty close. Matt Damon as Colin. So I've actually never seen a movie with Matt Damon in it, believe it or not. It's weird. It's one of those things that you would think I did, but I just haven't had the time. I like Matt Damon in this. I didn't think I was gonna like him because he just kind of has that stereotypical like action star kind of look, and so I was like, not really sure if I'm gonna really enjoy it. I really did. Matt Damon was fantastic. He played Colin, and Colin's the bad guy pretending to be the good guy, and so it was really fun to watch him on screen, particularly when he had his interactions with Costello, because you knew that he was bad, but he was pretending to be good. It's complicated. You guys should just watch the movie. It's on Netflix, so most of you probably have access to it. Really enjoyed the performance by Matt Damon. I look forward to more in the future. I believe there's a couple actually on the list already, just from requests and stuff. So when that happens, I'm going to be pretty excited to watch more Matt Damon, because I actually really enjoyed this performance. Jack Nicholson as Costello. I haven't seen a lot of Jack Nicholson. I watched The Shining, of course, when I was a little younger, but I always really liked him. I liked his eyebrows a lot. I always wanted to have his eyebrows, and his mouth, where it's like, it's really cool. But performance-wise, it was fine. When I think of Jack Nicholson, I think of a villain. I think of evil, and this is kind of a villain. He just kind of steals things for fun and does drugs and stuff. It's kind of just like a gang leader. They don't really explain what he does that's bad, but you just kind of know that he's bad. All we know is that he stole some computer parts. It's like really all we know. There's other stuff we know sort of that they kind of sort of talk about, but it's more hushed down than the stealing. But I like his performance, particularly when he's trying to figure out if Billy's the rat or not, and he thinks he's not, even though he is, and then he doesn't realize that Colin's actually kind of trying to be good. He kills him, and it's complicated. It's really complicated. They did really well with it, though. It's complicated in a very good way, and Jack Nicholson is wonderful. I think I have a couple things. I don't think I have anything on the list with Jack Nicholson, but I'd like to watch more Jack Nicholson because I do enjoy Jack Nicholson. Martin Sheen as Keenan. I don't know. It's spelled weird. It's not spelled like actual Keenan. It's spelled like Q. So I want to go Queen, but it's not. It's Keenan. Martin Sheen has been in a lot of movies that I've reviewed. I just haven't talked about him because he normally plays really small roles, and this one is also kind of sort of a small role. I just figured I'd mention him because I thought he did really well in this film. He does fine in every film I've seen him in, but this one felt really good for him. He was Keenan, and he's like the leader of Billy, so he tells Billy what to do, and he's undercover and stuff. I really liked it, particularly when he kind of sort of sacrifices himself to keep Billy undercover. It's a really, really touching person in this film, I think. I think they could have made him even better, even with a little bit more screen time, and maybe have him be more of a father to Billy than he was. In the film, we see a little bit of, he's a father to him, where, he invites him over, brings him to dinner, and, make sure he's fed and stuff like that. But if he had a little bit more of that, then I think that we could have related to the character just a little bit more than we have. Vera Farmiga as Madeline. I only know Vera Farmiga from the Conjuring series, which, in case you guys are curious, I do intend on doing a Conjuring series starting the end of May. Starting on May 21st, I will be doing a Conjuring series, starting through the entire Conjuring universe and ending with the new movie that comes out on June 4th. Also, about that, starting on the 21st as well of May, Godzilla vs. Kong comes out. So we will have Godzilla vs. Kong and the first Conjuring movie on the same day, on the 21st of May. But I figured I'd bring that up now, because if I don't bring it up now, I'll forget. But Vera Farmiga was really good in those movies, and really good here, too. Here we see a younger version of her, of course, and she's young, she's youthful, but she also is confused about what she likes. She thinks she likes Matt Damon because Matt Damon's got money, and he's solid, and he's attractive. But then she meets Billy and realizes she really likes Billy, and they have sexual relations. So they both have had sexual relations with Madeline here. And in the end, we find out she's pregnant, but we really don't know who the father is. I'm pretty confident the father's Billy, for my own reasons. You can formulate your own decision, but I'm fairly confident that it is, in fact, Billy's baby. Not that it matters, they're both dead. But I did enjoy that little plot was there. I almost wish it was wrapped up in a better way, but I guess I can't complain too much. That's going to do it for today talking about The Departed. I really enjoyed this movie. If you guys have a couple hours to waste, please go ahead and watch this movie. I really enjoyed it. It's a good time and a good Leonardo DiCaprio movie. And I'm going to go ahead and give it an A. That's going to do it for me today. Tune in tomorrow for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I still haven't filmed that one yet, so I don't know if Julian's in it. I'm pretty confident he will be, so look out for that. It should be a lot of fun. And as always, keep watching movies and television, stay educated, and I'll see you guys in the next video.